Okay, so I'm Allie. Abby mentioned earlier about how to help nature and learning to identify species, so I'm going to kind of give you guys a couple ways that you can do that. So we're going to talk about using apps in nature. Citizen science is an increasingly popular way for volunteers and scientists to collaborate to learn more about their surrounding environment, and an easy way for scientists to access and interpret data from citizen scientists is to use online phone applications. These apps aren't just helpful data contributions for scientists, but they also help you as a landowner identify species of interest on your property. So these are the apps I'm going to focus on today. There's plenty more out there. These are just kind of the three I'm going to zone in on. So we're going to talk about iNaturalist, and then we're going to talk about Seek, which is an app owned by iNaturalist, and then we're going to talk about Merlin Bird ID. So first with iNaturalist and how it works. You start by taking a photo on your phone or a sound recording. Then you post it to the iNaturalist app or the website, and then experts or hobbyists can see the post and recommend species ID based on the information that you provide. So when you first open up the iNaturalist app, you're going to click on a camera icon called Observe, which is way up at the top there in green. This page will then pop up, and you can fill out this information in real time while you're like out in the woods, or you can wait until you're back at home and fill out the information later. So you click the little camera icon called Observe, and then you add either photos or sound recording. And then next, this box will pop up and it's called What Did You See? So you click on it and the app generates, based on like the picture or the sound recording you provided, the app generates a suggestion of species. So if you find you're not getting a lot of suggestions, you can also type in your own suggestions. So if, say, you know it's a butterfly, but you don't know what kind, you can just type in butterfly, leave it broad, and then someone else can come along and identify it further for you. So other information that you need to provide is the date and the location. So if you're out in the woods, these usually automatically fill in for you. If you're doing it after the fact at home, you might have to change the date or open up the location and pan around on the map to the general area of where you saw the species. Finally, you'll save and share your observation down at the bottom. That posts it to the iNaturalist website, and then you'll get notification or an email if there's a comment or a recommendation of ID on your observation. So next we have Seek. So Seek's an app that's created by iNaturalist. It's actually catered more towards kids, but I use it a lot. So this app gives a real-time identification of what you're looking at, whereas iNaturalist, you submit it and then an expert comes in and gives what's called a research grade ID. So this is more of a real-time instant ID than iNaturalist is. So it's not normally as accurate as iNaturalist can be, but it gets you kind of in that ballpark in a pinch when you're out in the woods. Let's see, is this? Nope. Caitlin, I might need you to press play. So you start by opening up the app, and you just click on the camera button, and then it'll open up a screen on your camera, and then you just start panning around your species of interest. And you'll see the green dots at the top. As you get closer to an ID, those green dots will fill and it'll identify a species. And then you'll click your camera icon, it'll take a picture, and then it'll bring up an info page of the species that you just identified. And then we have Merlin Bird ID. So this one's a really great app. It's the one I probably use the most often. But it works to specifically ID birds. So you can ID birds through uploading a picture, taking a sound recording, or working through a step-by-step ID key. So if you don't have a picture, you couldn't get one in time, you can no longer see or hear the bird, but you did get a good look at it, you usually go with the step-by-step option to try and figure out what you saw. So you choose where you saw the bird on the map, the date you saw it, and then you go through these steps. So what size was the bird? So was it between a sparrow and a robin? Was it bigger than a crow? And then you'll move on to color. So you can pick up to 3 colors that were on the bird. And then finally you'll get asked, what was the bird doing? So was it swimming? Was it on a fence? Was it at a feeder? And answering all these questions lets the app generate a potential list of species that you can then flick through and determine if any of on that list is the bird that you saw. Another option on the Merlin Bird app is to use photos or sound recording. So if you have a photo, you can choose that option to upload it to the app for ID. The photo has to be pretty clear to get a good ID. Alternatively, you can use the sound recording option, which is a really great option. I use it a lot. So it tells you what birds you're hearing in the woods, even if you can't see them. So it's a super helpful option, but you do have to be pretty quiet while it runs. So it can't really identify birds over much talking, or if you're walking where there's like really crunchy leaves, it struggles to pick up anything. But all you need to do here is when you open up the app, there's a sound recording button right on the first page. You click that, and then it just runs while it detects birds. So it'll just run with the sound recording, and as it runs, a list of birds that it's identifying will pop up in real time. And you can click on those bird pages and get more info about them, listen to their songs and things like that. And you can also save the sound recording for later to go back to with the list of birds that you ID'd. So just some tips for taking good photos for identification. This is my model, Mandy. Scale matters when you're taking photos. So having a picture to scale makes a big difference when uploading pictures for ID. Using something that has a measurement is usually best. I get you don't always have that. Having like a hand, a shoe, a person stand in while you're taking a picture can really help with identification purposes in a pinch. Focus, making sure your picture's in focus is big. It's really hard to identify a plant that's in a ditch that you took a picture of while driving by in your car. It's a specialty of my mom's to send me. So making sure your picture is as clear as possible really helps for ID purposes. And finally, angles. So you want to take more than one picture and at different angles if you can. So if you're taking a picture of a plant, you might want to take a picture of the whole plant and then like a close-up of the leaf or the flower. Same with like a mushroom, you'd want to take a picture of the whole mushroom and then like the top side as well as the underside of like the gills. It really helps with ID. So maybe something that you missed in the first picture you took appears in the other pictures that helps with further ID at a different angle. That's me. Thank you.